make a post nowadays in the Elden Ring subreddit asking for genuine advice on how to beat Soldier of Godric, no matter how ridiculous that sounds, you may be met with a bit of humor, but ultimately you'll get what you asked for, and people will try to give you a hand. Around 15 years ago, though, things were a bit more cringy.
Now that's edgy as fuck.
If Elden Ring is your first Souls game, chances are that you were still a fetus during the days of Dark Souls and the rise of the Git Gud meme. If you were there, though, perdón, pero está viejo. The phrase gained popularity around the same time challenging Souls games began emerging from the shadows and creeping closer to mainstream attention. For those of you who were still in your old man's balls between the mid to late 2000s, games had a phase where they usually played it safe, avoiding anything that might overwhelm players to ensure they'd stick around for consuming future installments.
You can't die. Every time you fall, Alika saves you and brings you to the nearest platform, meaning the penalty for making mistakes is very low, often not feeling like a penalty at all. Falling is more mildly infuriating than a big shock.
Gaming was getting more mainstream, and your average casual gamers don't particularly enjoy being made to feel like useless idiots by difficult games.
And he's got that, and that is the end.
So when players who were used to being treated like toddlers in games like Batman Arkham Asylum suddenly found themselves thrown out into the world to fend for themselves after giving Dark Souls a try, they didn't really cope with it in a healthy way.
So I gotta do all what I just did over again completely. Isn't that great? And that's the problem. The game should fucking not make you redo stuff.
Venting their molding on online forums, only to be met by those two infamous magical words. And after legendary memes like Giant Dad cemented themselves in gaming history, it became pretty difficult to have any sort of Souls interaction without the phrase being spewed out every 1 or 2 words. Encontrarte un termotanque de ravioles de 300 kilos spameando la frase era más común que encontrar sampunga en el conurbano. Difficult gaming was quickly rising in popularity. Souls games didn't become a genre for no reason after all, with Elden Ring being the latest and biggest example. And this was not only because the genre defied the conventional game developing strategy at the time by presenting seemingly impossible challenges, but also because gamers have an ego.
Daily reminder that if you use summons, you didn't clear any of the Souls games.
You see, I beat Dark Souls was a phrase that some gamers took very seriously. If you didn't beat it, you weren't worthy of respect. Ironically, those who preached praise the sun were the ones in most need of sunlight. These losers found an identity in being able to beat a slightly harder than average game, and they were not going to let go so easily. So whenever anyone presented themselves with genuine inquiry on how to approach the game's challenging environments, the defense mechanisms of these orc abortions would kick in and they would respond with, "Get Gud." And it was during this period that the phrase started to associate less with a meme and it became more synonymous with ego gatekeeping. Don't get us wrong though, stupid takes deserve to be met with stupid answers. If some hopeless goober came with some whiny, aggressive and baseless complaint about an aspect of the game that's not unfair or problematic,
The Asylum demon is impossible. 2 hours later and I'm on the verge of saying fuck Dark Souls.
then simply telling them to get good was the way to go, as they would either take the advice and improve or have a stroke out of frustration. A win-win in my book, to be honest. But if someone was genuinely asking for advice, Git Gud doesn't really help much, does it? In fact, let's play a little game. Pause and read these 2 comments. Which of these 2 deserve a Get Gud to you?
Para mí lo merece el genocidio de empanadas este de acá.
Of course, it goes without saying that not all Souls players are sentient tumors, but back then, when Git Gud was at its peak, they were the majority. They were different times, all right. Not only because people were different, but because games were not so expensive. I mean, look at some of the prices today. Yeah, it sucks. But I wouldn't worry if I were you, little tomato, because instant gaming has got your back. As a website with over 10 million satisfied customers, Instant Gaming spits on the overinflated prices assigned by the man and offers great leniency to those economically challenged poggies who really want their 4th anime armpits video game. You can rest easy knowing that all of the amazing discounts in games, game cards and subscriptions you can shop for in Instant Gaming are safely backed up by great Trustpilot reviews alongside night and day customer support. And of course, it doesn't matter if you built an altar for Gabe Newell or Bill Gates, nor what console has replaced your dad's photo in the family picture book. Instant Gaming will always have you covered.
But wait!
By clicking my custom link in the description or pinned comment and creating an instant gaming account, you will participate in a free giveaway where you'll be able to purchase anything of your liking. No purchases necessary. Just creating an account is enough. So what are you waiting for? Those morally questionable games won't add themselves to your Steam library. Huge thanks to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video.
However, every cloud has a silver lining, so it's worth mentioning that more often than not, the phrase wasn't meant as a dismissal of criticism or an insult, but rather as encouragement. You see, while it's true that receiving advice on things like which stats to level up, which weapon to use, or what strategy to employ can help guide you through the game, it's equally true that the only real way to overcome its challenges is by sitting your ass down and putting in the effort you're supposed to put in. And while the game did offer assistance in the form of NPC summons for tough boss battles, it also pushed you to refine your skills and knowledge in order to succeed. After all, the sense of achievement from defeating a tough boss is regarded as one of the series' most rewarding experiences.
Finish him!
This feeling doesn't simply go for newer players, as we've seen many stories of self-accomplishment in the community throughout the years.
Yo particularmente no lo siento más, pero sí terminaba comiendo cada vez que mataba a un jefe después de chorrocientos mil intentos.
PewDiePie's Dark Souls montage videos are possibly the best example of a guy going from knowing jack shit about the game to becoming a fairly skilled player by the end. The guy doesn't even know how to lock on or parry at the beginning of his playthrough.
Oh, come on. So now I can target. Oh, no! Come on. I'm so bad at it. There, that's... Did I... Hello! Parry, motherfuckers! That's my first parry. Holy shit. 11 hours into the game.
But ends up decent enough, and every subsequent challenge by the end of the game feels easier and easier for him. He was getting good along the way. Another great example would be Otzdava with his All Bosses No-Hit Dark Souls 2 series, where he attempts to beat every boss in the game without taking damage. Something unspoken of at the time. And by the end of the challenge, despite being well versed into the Souls series, he experiences that same feeling of accomplishment everyone had when they beat the Taurus demon for the first time in the Undead Burg.
Put that crown down! It's ours now!
Yes! Swing!
We've done it! We did it!
So fucking good.
I think this whole Get Good ordeal is best summed up in a clip made by Viva La Dirt League, the one that inspired this whole little rant we made.
Of course, the armor and stats can help, but what really matters is your skills. Of course, it's hard. We all struggle, Sunbro. Every one of us. Throughout our lives, we can get knocked down and frustrated. We fail, we experience extreme loss. We have to practice, and we have to learn from our mistakes. So you see, Get Good is not some dismissive meme. Quite the contrary. It speaks to a truth at the heart of our entire lives. It is, in fact, the best advice anyone could ever give you. You just need to try.
You can't really stop a malicious goober from saying Git Gud to you, but you can make the best of it. Because if you want to, you can take their mocking and dismissive Git Gud as, keep trying, my friend. Eventually you'll make it as well. So in conclusion, fuck those losers. Don't ever give up and prove them that you can, in fact, get good. But yeah, we just wanted to discuss this little meme.
Nos revimos. Ciao.